Well, hello, sunshine. Okay, so I have a spirit story that I want to share with you. This was a dream that I had, and I just got done doing the energy forecast video. So I don't know if I'm going to be posting this before or after that, but I'm also doing this because on Instagram, I can only post shorter videos, and I'm hoping that this will be able to be posted on there because I wanted to share this story with you, and it was too long to share in the energy forecast video. So I'm doing reading parties, on the weekends, and I'm very careful about the energy and what I will allow in my home and in my space when I'm getting ready to do a reading party or doing readings in general. I set the intention that I don't want spirit moving anything in my house. I don't like things that scare me. Okay. I don't like the lights flickering. So I have set the intention that's not allowed in my home. And I have very clear boundaries with that with spirit. So if you've taken any of my courses or classes, you know how I talk about setting up boundaries with spirit, especially if you're an intuitive and you're an empath. You will feel things and sense things, and you sense spirit and you pick up things that are connected to loved ones that have passed away. So the one day I came home and I sat down, I had been gone, whatever, and I came home and I had this pumpkin that was like in a bucket and stuff. And it had been in there for like about a week or a couple weeks because I set up stuff for Halloween. And I was sitting there, just I wasn't anywhere near it, hadn't been near it, and all of a sudden it like moved. Okay, it like fell over. I was like, hmm, what is that all about? Okay. And I literally, so I talked to spirit, okay, because I'm like, okay, who's here? And I'm like, nobody's allowed to be coming through. I'm not doing any readings right now. I always say that. There isn't anybody that's allowed to be here. If you need to talk to me, you need to go to your people, right? You need to go to your person and tell them to come to me, and then I'll do a reading. So I have this whole conversation with spirit of whoever it was. I didn't sit down to try to figure out who it was because I didn't have time to do that, right? It was tired. I was tired. It was kind of like later in the day. And I thought, you know what? Whoever you are, you need to go back to your people. If you're connected to the reading party, I'll get with you in a few days when I do the reading party. So I went on, about my night, and I had a dream that night. And in the dream, and this may be a little bit, I'm going to be careful, but this might be a little difficult for some of you, but I just kind of want to preface that because I will get dreams about people that have passed away. And in my dream, I was in a house, and this isn't scary. I'm going to say it isn't a scary thing. It's just how spirit talks to me and how they will communicate to me. Sometimes it works for them to come to me through dreams. So, and especially children. So this one is about a child. And in the dream, I was in a house, and it was like somebody had been sick. There was all this medical equipment and stuff, and they were clearing out the medical equipment. And it was almost like the house was dark, and they might have been like getting ready to clear things out of the house. There wasn't really anybody in the house. There was like a worker, somebody that was like a worker, but it was darker, and it was kind of a little bit like it wasn't nighttime. Um, and there was light in the house, but it felt heavy, right? Like somebody had passed away in the house. And I don't know why I was in the house. I don't know if I was looking for somebody or needing to talk to somebody. And I felt like maybe the people were going to be selling the house, or basically they were clearing out the furniture, they were clearing out the medical equipment, and somebody had passed away. Well, as I was standing in this one room, I saw across the way a little boy ran across the room in front of me. And I saw him, and he ran real fast, right? And in that moment, I wasn't afraid. I knew he was a spirit, and I knew he wasn't alive, even in my dream. And I knew he was trying to get my attention. And I knew he was about 6 or 7 years old. And I feel like this was also something that was more recent. So I woke up and I wrote it down. And I also felt like this was connected to a J, something connected to a first initial J. And then I also was getting a first initial M somehow too. So I'm trying to figure out who this little boy goes to. All right. And I feel like he passed away more recently. And I was talking to one of my clients, and I think I have figured out who he is. But I wanted to share this story with you because basically he passed away within the last few weeks. It feels more recent. So if you may have some connection with a little boy that's like 6 or 7 years old, this boy was sick and I believe had some type of an illness or like cancer. I feel like the boy passed away at home with people, but I feel like the boy is he's waiting. He hasn't fully crossed because he wants to talk to somebody or he has a message to talk to a loved one, and he's trying to connect to me to be able to share the message with somebody when he's ready. And so I feel like he was coming to me to help me to find his people that he needs to talk to. And so you may know or you may connect with this person in some way or know who this goes to. And if you do, please reach out to me and let me know. And he's okay is my point, and I want you to know that. So when we have a spirit that is wayward, they can do things and they can move things. So what had happened is the after the pumpkin thing happened, right? And after I had the dream, the next day, after I wrote down the dream, when I went downstairs, I have a little table, and on my table there's a little globe that is solar. And it was like it's not working because the I kept it out and I kept it on and I didn't recharge it again. So I need to put it back in the sunlight so that it will recharge. Well, when I walked around the corner, it literally lit up. And I went, oh my gosh, because it shouldn't have lit up. Okay. And and then when I like walked away, it turned off. So I know that that was spirit too. And like I said, I don't let them do stuff like that in my house. I'm very careful with what they're allowed to do, but I knew that this little boy was coming to me because he wants to connect with somebody, and he hasn't fully crossed because he needs to deliver a message to a loved one. And the reason I wanted to share this, like I said, is because you can set you can set boundaries with spirit and tell them what they're allowed to do and what they're not allowed to do, but also to not be afraid of it, right? If something happens, know that there's a reason that you're getting that it's coming to you, that the spirit is coming to you or trying to get your attention. And it's usually connected to somebody that you're close to. So when they do that, they are drawn to us because they like us. This little boy, he feels safe and he feels comfortable with me. And I've told him, I'm like, you can stay with me and I'm going to help you. I'm going to figure this out. We're going to figure this out together, right? And as you talk to them and as you aren't afraid of them, it's like then you can actually help them and you can do things to make it better for them. And so I was telling somebody when I was doing this reading that I think that this person knows who this little boy goes to. I was saying, I feel like he's playing hide and seek. It's kind of like when he ran across the room like that, he knew I saw him. He wanted me to see him and he was playing a game with me, right? It was like, I'm going to run and I'm going to get away from you and you can't come and you can't catch me, right? It was so cute. And I feel like he's, like I said, 6 or 7. I felt like he was thin. I felt like he had like blonde, brownish hair, lighter color hair. Um, and he just felt like he just wanted to play. That's the energy that I get from him. And so when I was saying that to my client, it's like the in between, when I say somebody hasn't crossed, it's because they're in the in between. And it's not a bad place to be. It's because they have unfinished business here and they're not ready to go to the other side. And for whatever reason, this little boy, he's just not ready, to go. And I'm going to work with him to help him to cross. So don't worry about that. I'm going to make sure that he does. Usually within a couple weeks, when a spirit comes to me like that, I'm able to get them to cross and we're able to figure out who they go to and they're able to deliver their message to their people. But either way, I will make that happen. So you don't have to worry about that. But I wanted to share this story because if you have things that are happening around you, there's a reason and not to be afraid of it, right? You can set boundaries with spirit. And when they come to us in our dreams, it's their way of saying, I know you can help me, right? And I need help or I'm looking to connect. And because we have the ability to be able to do that, and you have the ability to do that if you want to, you don't have to. Um, but when we do, it's like we are able to help spirit, and we're able to, like, I'm going to be able to help this little boy to find his way home, basically. And he has kind of made the intention, I'm not ready to go. I'm not ready. I want to stay and I want to like talk to whoever it is that he wants to talk to. And when it's the right timing, he will then go, and his angels and guides will help him to go to the other side. And but we make the decision, we make the choice if we want to stay. And a lot of times when somebody passes where they haven't been able to say their piece, or if they pass tragically, they can get stuck for a little bit of time in that space. But just know that we can help to move them out of that space too. And when they're ready, they will do that. It's like a healing kind of time. And it's kind of like I said, like they're playing hide and seek. It's like they want to stay. They're making the choice and the decision. So I'm so grateful to be working with this little boy because he's the cutest thing. And I feel so honored that he came to me, right? I have those dreams of children a lot of times because I have that mom energy where I'm going to make sure that they're okay. I'm going to take care of them. And he knows that. So that's one of the reasons he felt safe to come to me. And so when we have, like I said, when we have things happen in the house, I know it's like Halloween time. Um, but if you have lights flickering, right? Or if you have something like that, I will hear like noises or stuff that used to scare me. It doesn't scare me anymore because I set the intention, nothing negative is allowed to come through. So if you're getting something like that, it's because your loved ones are trying to get your attention. They want to tell you that they're around you. They're trying to let you know, hey, we're here. If it is something that you don't like, that it's like, this is bothering me, all you have to do is say, I don't want you to do that. That scares me. I don't like it. Stop doing it. And they have to, because you have free will and you set the intention on what you will allow and what you won't allow spirit to do. And your loved ones do not want to scare you. They just want to let you know that they're around. So how do you see signs, right, from your loved ones? How do you know that it's them? Tell me, let me know in the comments. I would love to hear any stories that you have too. We're talking about that in the women's friendship circle, the spiritual support group that I just started. The next class is going to be on November 13th, and we're going to be talking more about this, how to protect your energy, how to recognize when you're feeling other people's emotions and you're feeling their stuff, how to interpret signs. Just reach out to me and let me know if you would like to join the class. It's $11. It's half off right now. And I hope to see you there. Okay. Have a great rest of your day. And I will keep you posted on this little boy once I figure out who he goes to. Thank you so much. Love you. Take care.